Hola de nuevo, en este video yo voy a hablar de los mandatos familiares negativos. We're going to take a look at negative to commands, and some of them also have negative to commands with pronouns as well. If you're in my class, you've already learned how to do usted and ustedes commands. Basically what we did is we took the verb and kind of went to its opposite ending. If you haven't learned ustedes commands yet, it would be very helpful if you have to do these ones as well, because the negative to commands are just like the usted and ustedes commands, except for with a no in front of it. So for negative to commands, you're going to want to think opposites again. So for AR verbs, think ER verb endings. And for ER/IR verbs, think AR verb endings. And then all those irregular ones we had for ustedes commands, they're also going to apply in these negative to commands as well. So for hablar, if I want to tell someone to not speak, I'm going to say no hables, no hables. Notice the ending is an es, kind of an opposite ending. The usted command is hable, if you're trying to remember what it was. Comer, so don't eat something, no comas, no comas. And then vivir, if I want to say don't live, not a very nice thing to say, but if you want to say it to someone, no vivas, no vivas, no vivas in Juarez, Mexico, maybe. Don't live in that city in Mexico. It's kind of dangerous. So it kind of goes opposites with the regular verbs. Well, they all go opposites, but that's how you do a regular verb. Next one's over. We're going to look at tocar, jugar, and comenzar. There's two things going on with some of these verbs. One, you got to think of, is this a boot verb? And if it is, it does apply. And also, these are the car, gars, are verbs, but they have some other change in them as well. So tocar, normally you might think goes to no. Well, if you're thinking about how to say it, it's going to be no toques. But if you're not sure how to spell it, and if you find yourself writing T-O-C-E-S, that would be pronounced no toses. But we're going to keep the k sound in there, so it'll be no toques with the Q-U-E-S. Jugar, it is a boot verb, but the U changes to UE, so that still applies. And it's a gar verb, so I have to do something else. It's going to be no juegues, J-U-E-G-U-E-S, with those extra U's, those extra vowels in there to maintain the g sound in jugar. Then comenzar is also a boot verb. It's also a zar verb, so there's two things that have to happen here. The E changes to IE, and the Z has to change to a C. So the negative to command for comenzar is going to be no comiences, no comiences. And then over here, I also have some irregular verbs. These ones, think about the yo form of them when you're forming the negative to command. It would be very helpful for you. So for example, the yo form of hacer is hago. That HAG is where you're going to form your command from. So don't do something. It would be no hagas. Poner, the yo form is pongo. The negative to command would be no pongas. Think opposites with the, goes to the AS and then also has that go in there from the yo form. Dar is no des. It's not too irregular really. Estar is no estés. Ir is like the usted commands. It's no vayas, no vayas. Saber is also like the usted commands. No sepas, no sepas. And then ser is also the same as the usted commands, but with an S on it. No seas, no seas. So if you've learned the usted commands, these should be really easy for you because they're the exact same as the usted command, but with an S on the end of it. And of course, it's negative, so it has to have a no at the beginning of it. So I'm also going to give you a couple examples here with pronouns in them, and then I'm going to give you a small test or quiz to see if you can do these with pronouns on them. So this first one here I have is no ponerse el sombrero. So I'm going to tell someone to not put on the sombrero. Now when you're doing a negative command, regardless if it's a to command or an usted command, the pronouns have to go in front of the verb. Negative, no attach, affirmative attach when it comes to commands. So put the pronouns in front of the verb. So I'll write it over here. No, and we have the se and the sombrero and the poner. If you want to do the poner first, that's fine. You know, it doesn't matter what order you do it in, just as long as your product is correct. So we'll do the poner first. The poner is going to go to pongas, because like I said earlier, it's one of the go verbs, goes to the pongo in the present tense, no pongas. Now I also have these se and the sombrero. Put the people, the thing that refers to the person first, and then the thing after it. Since it's a to command, the se is going to change to a te. And then the el sombrero is going to change to a lo. And I have no te lo pongas, no te lo pongas. There's no attaching of pronouns anywhere. That is two words. These are all separate words if you can't tell. No attaching of pronouns, so you don't have to worry about accent marks, which is nice. No te lo pongas. One more. So I'm going to say don't write the essay. The essay can change to lo. And then escribir, IR verb, think opposites. It's going to be no, lo, escribas. No lo escribas. Put the pronoun in front of the verb and a negative command. The pronoun for the negative command is no, lo, escribas. No lo escribas. Put the pronoun in front of the verb and a negative command. Lo, escribas. No lo escribas. Put the pronoun in front of the verb and a negative command. Okay, so I'm going to give you 5 more of these negative commands with pronouns in them. I want to see if you can do them correctly. I'll put them up on the board here for you in just a second. Pause the video once they're up there, and then write them down, and I'll give you my answers. Okay, so hopefully you've had a chance to write down your answers. I'm going to do them for you right now up here on the board. So the first one is we're going to tell a 2, don't use the computer. So actually, let me rephrase that. We're going to tell a 2 to not use it, it being the computer. So the computer changes to the little word la, and I'm going to do my command after that. So I have no la uses, no la uses. No hacer el pastel, so don't make the cake. The cake can change to lo. So we're going to have no, lo. Think about the old form of hacer. No lo hagas. Don't make it or don't do it. Sacar fotos, so don't take pictures. The fotos, even though it ends in an OS, the word fotos is short for fotográficas, which is feminine, so it goes to las, kind of a tricky one. So I'm saying don't take them. No, las. Now we got to do something to maintain the k sound of sacar. So no las saques. So I'm saying don't dry off your hair. So we got the say and the payload to deal with here. Put the one that refers to the person first. So we're going to go with no te lo seques. And it's also a car verb. We got to do that QU in there. And then darme a lápiz. So I'm saying don't give me the pencil. No, put the me before the lo here because we put the people before things. So we go no me lo des. No me lo des. Don't give it to me. So that's it. I'm going to get it out of the way here so you can see the answers. If you have questions about negative commands, negative 2 commands, instead commands, any kind of commands, just let me know. With pronouns, remember affirmative commands attach, affirmative attach, negative no attach. Also, if you're if your teacher's kind of a pain like I can be sometimes, and you're doing all of the commands together, you might have 2 commands, ustedes commands. If you're in Spanish 3 with me, you might be doing nosotros commands, doing everything together. One thing that helps people is that when it comes to commands, the only one that doesn't go to the opposite ending is the affirmative 2 command. All of the other commands, usted, ustedes, negative 2 commands, nosotros commands, those all kind of go to the opposite ending. It's just the affirmative 2 command does not do that. That is it for this video. If you have questions, let me know, and I'll get back to you.